Whilst even one of us lives, we fight. For only in death.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. 2026 is sure turning up to be one of the most exciting for RTS fans in years, with a slate of games that push scale, story, and strategy in fresh directions. From sprawling sci-fi battlefields to gritty modern warfare and hybrid survival sims, there's a lot to look forward to. I've dug into early previews and announcements so we can explore the top 12 upcoming RTS games for 2026 and what you can expect from each one.
And something still stirs below. Buried deep, lost for eons, and never meant to return.
Warhammer 40k, Dawn of War 4. Okay, we're starting strong with a game that is currently in development at King Art Games, with a 2026 launch window planned exclusively for Windows PC. And we're expecting a very deliberate return to large-scale warfare. Unlike the faster, hero-leaning direction of its predecessor, this entry is being built around drawn-out territorial conflict and layered decision-making. The campaign revisits Cronus, set roughly 200 years after the Dark Crusade, where Space Marines like Cyrus and Jonah return to a war-scored world struggling to rebuild. The long time jump allows the story to align with modern Warhammer 40k lore, while staying mostly self-contained. Adeptus Mechanicus and Necrons play major roles here, expanding the narrative beyond the usual Space Marine versus Orc dynamic. Gameplay emphasizes base construction, requisition point control, research trees, and unit deployment, paired with cover mechanics and an expanded sync kill system. You can expect stratagem abilities like orbital bombardments, cooperative campaign play, classic skirmishes, competitive multiplayer up to 3v3, and a redesigned Last Stand mode that is less hero-centric. I appreciate how grounded and systems-driven this one is shaping up to be.
Today, we take our world back.
Ashes of the Singularity II. Next RTS ramps the scale up so aggressively that the battlefield almost feels like a living system. Ashes of the Singularity II is currently in active development at Oxide Games, with Stardock Entertainment publishing. And as of now, the release window is still unannounced, though we're expecting it to land sometime around 2026 based on its current visibility and livestream showcases. From a deeper narrative standpoint, this sequel pushes deeper into a near-future solar system fractured by humanity, super intelligent AI, and post-human factions competing for control of entire worlds. The campaign places you in the role of a commanding officer for the United Earth Forces. You will also be able to experience the conflict from the perspective of the AI substrate or the post-human coalition. Each side isn't just cosmetically different. The philosophies directly shape unit behavior, expansion logic, and long-term strategy, which I find genuinely refreshing for a large-scale RTS. Gameplay is built around commanding thousands of units simultaneously across continent-sized maps using strategic zoom, allowing you to issue orders from orbital view down to ground-level clashes. You can expect terrain deformation, resource transformation through terrenium, heavy logistics management, and an emphasis on planning rather than reflexes. Single player, instant action, online PvP, and co-op multiplayer are all confirmed, with PC as the primary platform at launch.
The stage is set with a tense and precarious balance, now more than ever. JPJ, global tensions are escalating. Conflict is intensifying in the Western Pacific, Eastern Europe, and the Middle East.
Systemic war. Moving from large-scale future conflicts into something much closer to the real world, this next game focuses on modern geopolitics and long-term planning rather than constant frontline action. Systemic War is targeting a Q4 2026 release. We're expecting it to be all about grand strategy decisions with hands-on RTS battles in a very direct way. The game is being developed and published by Play of Battle SA, and it covers the period from 2008 to 2025. You can choose to lead real nations like the USA, China, Russia, Poland, or Turkey, managing diplomacy, economy, and military power on a global, strategic map. Instead of abstract regions, the world is built around real cities, roads, and rail networks, so infrastructure directly affects trade, logistics, and troop movement. I like how this makes every decision feel connected rather than isolated. When conflicts escalate, the game shifts into real-time battles set in handcrafted locations such as Warsaw, Aleppo, or Taiwan. You can expect more than 150 modern units, including tanks, helicopters, drones, and electronic warfare tools. Strategic choices on the macro level directly shape what forces you to bring into each battle, making planning just as important as combat. Calyx. This upcoming RTS is from Studio 568, and while it does not have a fixed release date yet, we're expecting it to arrive sometime around 2026 based on its active demo updates and ongoing development. You are placed in charge of a space mining outpost on a hostile planet, completely alone except for an outdated ship AI guiding you through objectives. The main threat comes from the Calyx themselves. These are powerful, plant-like alien entities that behave more like evolving bosses than standard enemy waves. Left unchecked, they spread rapidly across the map, forcing you to constantly adapt rather than rely on static defenses. I'm guessing the enemy pressure never really lets you relax here. Gameplay focuses heavily on base building and resource management. You will set up power networks, harvest ore, refine it for credits, and decide how to spend those resources on walls, turrets, tanks, and artillery. Energy management plays a huge role, since defenses can shut down if power demand is mismanaged. You can expect multiple playstyles, from heavily fortified bases to mobile, aggressive strategies. Calyx is currently confirmed for PC, with a strong PvE focus and a campaign shaped by player feedback. Veil of Ashes. Following that tight PvE survival focus, the next game opens things up into structured, tactical warfare where positioning matters more than raw numbers. Veil of Ashes is currently in development at Griefenmauer with no confirmed release date yet, though we're expecting it to land sometime around 2026 based on recent gameplay streams and trailers. Instead of full-scale base building, this one leans into real-time tactics. Battles are fought across destructible maps, where you capture and hold key points while managing a limited but powerful army. You assemble your force during the match itself, earning reinforcement points and let you call in heavier units, support abilities, or massive behemoths. You'll love how this keeps the pacing focused on moment-to-moment decisions rather than long setup phases. The setting is a dark steampunk world shaped by an ancient catastrophe and powered by a rare energy called Sinium. 3 factions are available, each playing very differently. The Sacrum Imperium relies on overwhelming firepower and super heavy tanks. The feudal Lohenreich balances elite armored units with disciplined infantry. And the revolutionary communes favor speed, numbers, and flexible tactics. You can expect single-player skirmishes, co-op land support, and multiplayer battles up to 4v4. All launching on PC. Panzer Strike. Coming off the steampunk chaos of the last game, this next game goes in the opposite direction by stripping RTS combat back to pure battlefield command. Panzer Strike is currently scheduled for a Q1 2026 launch on PC, and it will appeal strongly to players who miss the slower, more deliberate RTS style of the early 2000s. Development is being handled by the ISAK team, and their focus is very clear. There's no base building here at all. Instead, every match is about commanding existing forces across huge maps where positioning, range, and timing matter far more than economy management. You choose between the USSR and Germany, each with historically inspired unit rosters that include over 40 types of tanks, artillery, infantry, and support vehicles. The campaign is built around non-linear missions, meaning objectives and outcomes can change depending on how you approach the battlefield. Combat emphasizes realistic armor and damage mechanics, so frontal assaults are risky, and flanking or long-range firepower becomes essential. I mean, I kind of love how this forces patience rather than rush tactics. You can expect both single-player and online multiplayer modes, with large-scale engagements involving thousands of units at once. Resilient. After all that frontline warfare, this game slows things down and shifts the tension inward, focusing on survival, leadership, and long-term consequences. Resilient is currently in development by CNR Dev, with a release date still to be announced, though we're expecting it to arrive on PC once its core systems are fully locked in. This game is set in a bleak alternate 17th century, long after a zombie outbreak has shattered society. You start with only a small group of survivors and slowly build a colony from scratch. Instead of rigid city grids, the layout grows organically. Roads, farms, and buildings form naturally based on your decisions, giving each settlement a distinct identity. I think this makes the colony feel lived in rather than optimized on paper. Gameplay revolves around a clear day and night loop. Days are spent expanding production chains, researching improvements, passing laws, and managing social order. Nights are about defense, as zombie hordes attack and evolve over time, becoming faster or harder to kill. Colonists have individual traits, beliefs, and relationships, and those directly affect productivity, loyalty, and the risk of rebellion. You can expect systems built around ideology, lawmaking, diplomacy, and exploration, where every choice trades short-term survival for long-term stability. Empire Eternal. Moving from survival-focused management into something far more ambitious, this next game zooms out to cover the entire sweep of human history in one continuous RTS experience. Empire Eternal is currently in development at EPO Games, with Micropose Software publishing. And while there is no release window yet, we're expecting it to arrive sometime after 2026 once its massive scope is fully realized. The core idea here is scale. You guide a single civilization across more than 20 historical eras, starting with primitive tools and steadily advancing through bronze, steel, industrial warfare, and even futuristic technology. Every era introduces new units, buildings, and strategic challenges, meaning your empire constantly evolves rather than resetting. This encourages long-term planning instead of short, isolated matches. Gameplay sticks to familiar RTS foundations like base building, resource management, and large-scale battles. It expands combat across land, sea, and air simultaneously. We can expect fortified cities, massive armies, naval fleets, and aerial units all interacting on the same battlefield. Empire Eternal includes a full single-player campaign, online PvP and co-op, and strong modding support for custom maps and units. Front RTS. After spanning entire civilizations and centuries, the next RTS brings the attention back to raw military control in a ruined world where every advance feels hard-earned. Front RTS is being developed and published by RTS Demon, with a release date still to be announced. though we're expecting it to arrive once its non-linear campaign systems are fully realized on PC. The setting takes place on a war-torn planet buried under dust, concrete, and the remains of past empires. You are leading a militarized force trying to survive and expand while surrounded by hostile factions, ranging from mutants and advanced robots to rebels and internal conspiracies. The story unfolds dynamically through global events rather than a fixed narrative path, which means each campaign can play out differently. This really gives the game a sense of unpredictability without losing structure. Gameplay gives us that classic RTS mechanics with grand strategy elements. You build bases, mine resources, and produce infantry, tanks, aircraft, and support vehicles, all of which also matter on a larger global map. Strategic turns are used to plan movements, manage economy, unlock technologies, and deploy veteran units across multiple battles.
Danes are coming. You, a lord of England, must tame the land. Establish a thriving village and keep it supplied as it grows.
Dinolords. Now it's time to bring the action right down to ground level and let you fight alongside your troops. Dinolords is being developed by Northplay and published by Ghost Ship Publishing, with an early access launch planned, but no fixed release window yet. We're expecting it to evolve heavily over time through community-driven development. The setting is an alternate version of medieval England, where dinosaurs have returned and changed warfare completely. The campaign focuses on defending and reclaiming regions from invading Danes who arrive on their own dinosaur armies. Instead of controlling everything from above, you play directly as the Lord on the battlefield, moving with WASD, fighting enemies in real time, and using abilities to influence battles personally. I really like how this makes you feel physically present rather than just issuing orders. On the strategy side, you build and expand a stronghold by gathering resources, constructing buildings, and managing production chains. Dinosaurs are not just combat units. They can also power industry, speed up construction, and strengthen defenses. You can expect a mix of city building, unit management, and hands-on combat, with progression systems for your lord, armies, and dinosaurs. Dinolords is currently confirmed for PC and is shaping up to be a very different take on traditional RTS gameplay. Sanctuary: Shattered Sun. Our next game swings hard in the opposite direction by going all in on sheer RTS scale and spectacle. Sanctuary: Shattered Sun is currently in development at Enhearten Media. No release date locked yet, though we're expecting it to land as a flagship PC RTS once development matures. The setting alone sets it apart. Battles take place on the surface of a massive Dyson sphere that surrounds a star, turning the entire structure into one continuous battlefield. The story is set in the year 2758, where humanity's greatest engineering achievement has collapsed into all-out war. You choose between three factions: the pragmatic EDA, the advanced Chosen, or the mysterious Guard, each built around different unit rosters, tech paths, and battlefield roles. Gameplay leans heavily into classic RTS foundations like base building, resource flow, and tech tiers, but at an extreme scale. Players can expect maps up to 40 by 40 kilometers and armies numbering in the thousands. Strategic Zoom lets you command everything smoothly without constant micromanagement, which I really think is essential at this size. What really defines Sanctuary is terrain control. Super weapons can shatter the map itself, collapse enemy bases into the sun, or freeze oceans to create entirely new invasion routes. It's shaping up to be a true successor to classic large-scale RTS design, built for players who want thinking over just clicking.
To stave off the never-ending threats. Every soldier we have counts in the war, yet sacrifices must be made. Every decision has a consequence.
ZeroSpace. Last but not least, This game will be bringing that classic RTS control with long-form sci-fi storytelling. ZeroSpace is currently in development by Starland Studios in collaboration with Ironward, though it does not have a locked release date yet. The single-player story puts you in the role of Prefect Aster, commanding a flagship while navigating political chaos in the Orion sector. Unlike traditional RTS campaigns, this one leans heavily into narrative choice. You recruit heroes, build relationships with crew members, and make decisions that shape alliances and galactic conflict over time. I mean, I do like how it borrows structure from narrative RPGs while still keeping strategy at the center. On the gameplay side, ZeroSpace mixes base building, army control, and hero abilities with a clean, streamlined interface designed to reduce micromanagement. You can expect 4 core factions, multiple mercenary groups, and a large unit roster that encourages counterplay rather than fixed strategies. Beyond the campaign, there is a persistent galaxy war mode where thousands of players fight over shared territory across a living map. And that wraps up our look at the top 12 upcoming RTS games for 2026, a lineup packed with ambitious ideas, different settings, and plenty of strategic depth. So if you prefer commanding futuristic fleets, surviving against overwhelming odds, or engaging in tactical Cold War skirmishes, there's something on this list for you. I'm excited to see how these games evolve before release, and we'll be watching closely with you. Stay ready, strategists. 2026 is going to be big.
Ones who can raise an army. The ones who can fight together will be known